What's up everyone, AJ on Day Trader Boom or Bust here with today's recap video. I hope you had a great trading day. I apologize I wasn't able to record and post a recap for yesterday. I will touch on what happened yesterday, but as for today, I broke a rule today and I'm torn. I really don't know whether I feel I was 100% wrong or if it was okay. Some of you are going to be on probably either sides of the spectrum. Some will be, well, there's no excuse, you broke a rule. And there are going to be some of you, after hearing what I have to say, be like, well, that makes sense, or, no worries, it's not a big deal. So let's talk about what happened. So here's today's watch list. I post this every morning between 9 and 9:15 a.m. on my Twitter. If you want to make sure to catch that, go ahead and give me a follow at AJ Tabayan. So on the primary watch list, I had NEO that was trading up on news, and I also had Tilray, which was also up off of their earnings. And then on the secondary list, I had mRNA based off of the daily chart. It was at a key level. And then I had BABA, Facebook, and Nvidia. All were gapping significantly higher today, along with the SPY. And I had PLTR as a continuation play. It had a huge move yesterday. And then Mara as the crypto play, because Bitcoin was continues to be high off of yesterday's pop. So here we are. This is today, and if you've been watching my videos and you've been following along right off the bat, I'm sure you're going to see what I was referring to. I took 9 trades today, so I'll explain exactly what happened, and you be the judge as to whether or not you feel I was really in the wrong or not. But quickly, as I promised, because I didn't get a chance to do a recap yesterday. Yesterday was a tough day overall. Not many winners, and they were quite small. But on the other side, all the losers were really small. And I'll give you a quick kind of synopsis of what I felt happened yesterday. I just feel that I'm being probably overcautious with a lot of my trading, trying to minimize the amount of risk on the trade, and I'm probably being a little too aggressive with that. Now, obviously, the result is not all bad. I mean, I didn't take a single full 1-hour loss yesterday. This one was close, but I also didn't get any proper wins yesterday, and a couple of these should have been proper wins had I just held the stop loss where it is. When it's all said and done, my feeling right now is I need to be better with determining which trades, based off of the price action and based off of the entry, and most importantly, the stop loss placement, whether or not they're trades I should just hang on to and either take a full 1-hour loss or the full 2-hour win. And instead of, aggressively moving or just moving the stop loss to break even, or, or to another, level for a smaller amount of risk. I'm not saying that in certain situations that's not called for. All I'm saying is that I'm definitely finding that I'm probably doing it more often than not. And it's gotten to a point where I feel, even though I'm minimizing risk, I'm also missing out on profit. So it's something I'm definitely going to have to look at and work on a little bit more. And you'll notice I did take an extra trade yesterday, and that one was not an uncontrolled trade. I took it because, like I said, I had a lot of small losses, and I felt that I could give myself, I guess, an additional opportunity to catch a win as long as I managed the loss. But it didn't work out, as you can see. But still, I ended up in total taking just over, I guess it was about, or nearly 2.2 hour loss yesterday. So it was definitely a red day. Anyways, okay, so let's talk about today. So today did not start off well. I got really chopped out as I did yesterday, but like yesterday, I don't feel I didn't take any really bad trades. It's just unfortunately, it didn't work out on the trades that I took. So the first one here is a trade on NEO. And NEO had gapped up a lot on some news, and as you can see on the 1 minute here, it threw a bit of a doji and set this initial 1 minute opening range. This was the short-term intraday level that was set in the pre-market, and you can see where the market profile and showed that there was a lot of price action going on here. I felt that if it pushed below that this could be a short, and it did look weak at the time. So I got fooled on this. I took a short entry here at the break of this level here. Maybe I should have waited for the break of the 200 SMA, but either way, even if I'd done that, it still would have come back and stopped me out, and that's what happened there, unfortunately. My second trade was also on NEO, a little bit further into the morning. And so here I felt that NEO, again, it wicked off of pre-market high right here, through this upside down hammer, and it definitely started to waterfall after that. I probably should have waited for it to retest this level again, but it did this sell off, and overall I was bearish on NEO today. So I took a short when it broke below this level here that was set earlier and at the open, and so I went short here. Unfortunately, it quickly went in my direction and then just wicked off of this R6 level and then came back and stopped me out. So it was just very choppy, and which is unfortunate, but I don't feel bad about either of those trades. I feel I was patient. I took I took the entries that I wanted to take. It just didn't work out. And after that, though, I didn't want to get any more chopped out on NEO at that point. I wanted it to, if I even considered it again, I wanted it to work out, where it wanted to go, and then kind of look for an opportunity from there. So I looked elsewhere for another trade. I eventually took a trade on Nvidia. So here on Nvidia, let's take a look at the 5-minute chart here. So you can see here on Nvidia, what had happened is it was trending. It was kind of making a bit of a, it was consolidating, making a bit of a pennant here. And, I felt that if it broke below, and this is, what is this level here? I don't quite, oh no, this is actually the current price in the post-market trading. Anyways, I felt that if it kind of broke this pennant to the downside, I thought it could be weak. So I went short right over here. Unfortunately, it immediately came back up and, stopped me out, as it definitely wasn't done consolidating yet. I probably should have waited a little bit more for a clearer indication, but it had moved below this, really, really quickly, and it had broke below this range that it had set. I just obviously I didn't time the entry right, and unfortunately I took that was another loss, and with slippage that was actually a little bit more than 1R. So at that point I was actually I was down 3R for the day, and it was definitely not looking good. Now, after all of this, Nvidia did eventually decide to move upwards, but I felt that I still really felt that it was weak, and you can see it made this this pretty decent move up, but on low volume here. And I just, I thought it was going to meet some resistance here at the pre-market high, and I'm gonna, to further support this, I on the 15-minute chart here, this was or sorry, you know what, let's look at the daily. On the daily, this is a level that the level that we're looking at, which is, sorry, I'm just trying to I'm just checking out the 1 minute chart to, oh yeah, so there, this pre-market high level, you can see that it was the open of this particular candle here, and it wicked off it over here and threw a doji at this level over here. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I'm looking at the right level. Yeah, so anyways, I felt that there was definitely going to be some resistance here, and so let's go back to the 5 minute. And I was correct, because you can see here that it failed to push above this level, and when it did, it pushed down a little bit. I actually had a stop loss here at some ask at 212.50, that I felt that if it actually hit 212.50, that this move it was going to continue to move upwards. But because this was an ambush entry, and this is what I'm talking about, where on these ambush entries, I'm quite a bit more aggressive with moving my stop loss. So when it moved in my direction, I had moved the stop loss to break even. Maybe I should have moved it to about this level here, which was at the time high of day, which would have been about 50% or 0.5 R. And I should have been okay with that, in case it never would have tested that level, and you can see it immediately pushed down. My 2R profit target was around this area here, so it would have easily hit my 2R profit target. Instead, this was a break-even trade, and that that was unfortunate, because I really, after the way that the morning started, this would have been a really nice trade. But I kept my wits about me. I didn't, I was disappointed in this, but I didn't really get too emotional about that. I wanted to be patient and wait for another opportunity. I found one on Tilray. So Tilray, had earnings yesterday, and it pushed down, and I missed this initial move, but you can see it bounced up and it continued to put, and then really made an aggressive move up. So at this point it looked really strong on the day, but I felt that there was a level here at S1 where it could meet some resistance. So I thought I would get short, take a short here, but you can see, unfortunately, I was wrong. The level here, it's clear that this is a level, this 1110 level, because it came back to this level and just ended up chopping in this area for the rest of the day, or most of the day anyways. I think that it eventually did sell off a little bit. Yeah, so it did, but that was definitely a clear level. Just unfortunately it didn't. I was only playing a bit of a pullback. Sorry, I'm trying to center this so it's easier to work with. But yeah, I just, it just wasn't ready. It really wanted to go up. I probably should have waited for this big volume here and this upside down hammer, and played it off of pre-market high over here. I would have caught a nice move down, but I took that chance. This was maybe a bit of a marginal trade, but I didn't want to get too caught up with Tilray. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. So at that point, I had one more trade. That was my 5th trade of the day, and I saw an opportunity potentially on BABA. So BABA was the same situation where you can see it made such, it was it gapped up you know, a ton, and it continued to move up for most of the day. But this 158 level here was really a key level. I'll go back on the daily here, and I just felt that on the daily here, you can see 158 was a level that all the way across here, you can see that there was, you know, quite a, you know, it wicked off of here, bounced off over here, and then when it broke this level, it came back to retest, found resistance, it came down. So this was really an important level. So I was really watching this when sorry, let's go back to the 5-minute chart. So I was definitely watching this as a potential place where it could at least pull back. Maybe not a full reversal, but oh, what did I do? Sorry. There. I looked at this level, so, and I saw that it definitely met some resistance here at high of day, and actually never retested high of day. So this was a bit of an ambush entry also. When it failed to really push above 158, and more importantly, let's sorry, I'm just thinking through this as I'm just recalling what I saw here as I'm talking to you. This is the 1-minute chart, so it's a little bit more apparent what I saw here on the 1-minute chart. So okay, so this is the 158 level here. What I saw most importantly here was, you can see that it tried to push up above this 158 level, this huge green candle here on high volume, okay? But it failed, came back down, approached 158 again, but this time when it tried to break above that, we had less volume, and it just consolidated there. It attempted to do it again right over here, but this was less volume still. So there was definitely a lack of interest in, you know, moving above this 158 level. And this is what caught my attention, this descending volume despite trying to continue to move up. These are, you know, this is VPA, volume price analysis. This is an anomaly. And I was watching this, and when it failed this time, I felt that there was an opportunity here, if it pushed below the 20 EMA here, that it could have at least a decent pullback, if not even a full reversal, given, you know, how strong this level was. So I took an entry here, short, with a stop loss just above the wick of this candle, not quite high of day, but you know, above the wick of that candle. And you know, it had it, you know, went in my direction, and literally this was 1.9 R, or even almost 1.95 R from hitting my profit target here. At that point, I had moved the stop loss, not even the break even, or was it? It was just above this 180 level, and unfortunately, I got stopped out. And I got stopped out there for a small loss, maybe 0.2 R loss. But you can see that it wicked up on high volume. So I really felt, you know, again, with this big green candle, that was actually on lower volume again. Just didn't seem to have this interest to push above 158. And because I'd taken such a small loss, and this is where I, you know, I guess you could say, I don't want to mean this, I don't feel I mean this in a negative way. This is where I justify taking the extra trade. I kept my loss well below 1R. Although it was an additional trade, this would have been my 7th trade. I still believed in the setup, and so I went short again. I was aggressive with moving my stop loss, which I probably shouldn't have been. Because I think I kept the stop loss here at high of day. This time I gave it a wide stop loss because I didn't want it to, just come and shoot up and stop me out unnecessarily. But I did feel that this move would have been negated, or this opportunity would have been negated had it broken high of day again. But when it went in my direction, I moved my stop loss again to this level just below 158. It came back and stopped me out. I ended up taking, I think, a 0.25R loss on that. At this point, again, I'd already taken more trades than I should have, but it wasn't. Even with my 6th and 7th trade, I didn't take a full 1R loss. I was thinking I was going to be done for the day, but I wasn't convinced that this opportunity was gone. And when it tried once again to almost come up to high day, look how low the volume was. So I was watching this still, and it had this red candle consolidated with these dojis, and I felt that here, let's zoom in a little bit. I felt that if it broke below, where these wicks were hitting, that this could really be a short, because like I said, look at this push up. It's on very low volume, and I just didn't think there was any interest to go up. So I gave myself the opportunity to take one more trade on this with a stop loss above the wick of this candle. So I took an entry. I was once again very aggressive with my stop loss because, like I said, after the last 2 trades, I was below 1R, and I didn't want this to take me above 1R loss. So when it, when it pushed in my direction, even this small bit, honestly, I moved my stop loss just to the top of this candle there, and I felt, you know what? If it breaks above that candle, good or bad, I'm out. Because I'd already, again, broken the rules a little bit, but I still felt really good about this trade. It never tested even that stop loss there, and you can see it quickly and easily moved in my direction once it broke these levels. And with this trade here, what I'll tell you is that I never took more than a 1R loss on these 3 trades here, 6, 7, and 8th trade. But when I took this trade, because I felt that it was still my original thesis, I actually had my profit target where my original profit target was, which was right here, where it almost touched, as I mentioned earlier. So when it hit my, this profit target, this trade was a profit of 3.3, I think about 3.3, 3.4R, which was a great win, because I figured that if I was taking a little bit more of this risk by, taking some additional trades while still managing to not take more of a 1R loss, I wanted to get rewarded for it. And I really, really felt it was going to go for this level because there was a large number of bids here at 157. And when there wasn't any interest to push above, I felt that it was definitely going to come down and get those bids. And it did. So when it's all said and done, yes, I broke a rule. Like I said, I'm torn because of how adamant I've been at wanting to follow those rules. But this time, I got to be honest with you, this wasn't, in my opinion, emotional trading. I was very calculated with this. I was very diligent with what I felt, with my thesis, with this decreasing volume as it continued to try and push above this level, and it worked out. It worked out because I felt my analysis was right here, so I stuck with it. So you can tell me. I mean, if you really feel strong about it, you want to write it in the comments, go ahead. Put it in the comments and let me know. Was I wrong? You know, I took a couple of extra trades, kind of broke that rule. But I can tell you, in all honesty, these weren't emotional trades. I was being very meticulous. You can see it wasn't immediate entries or, you know, uncontrolled trading here. I just felt that I would have missed out on this had I not stuck with it. And you know, and like I said, had this took me out, had it taken me out here, I probably would have taken after these two trades maybe a little bit more than 1 R. You know, had it would have been like this 6th trade was like a 1.5 R loss had I taken that loss. But I felt it was worth the risk because I thought that this would work, and I was right. So that was, you know, that's really where I was with this. When it's all said and done, you know, and if I'm being honest right now, I still feel good about this. I don't feel bad that I took those extra trades. It worked out. And after this, I was pretty much done for the day. When I even with this win, I was down 0.9 R. I was red 0.9 R. I was okay with that. And after this, I actually went for a bike ride. I went for a bike ride for about an hour, you know, as I have been the last couple of days, just to, you know, get that exercise in. And last couple of days were red, so I just kind of wanted to shake that off a little bit. And I will say, and this one is probably a little bit more questionable than this. I did take one more trade. I'm not going to lie. When I got back from my bike ride at about 3:30, and it was just before the close of the market, and I took one more trade. I just wanted to see what the market was doing, and you know, here I was on Nvidia, and I told you I took a trade earlier, and I really still felt that Nvidia was weak for the day. Even though it pushed up, you know, to this level here, it did so on such low volume. I just don't believe that there was much conviction against, you know, with this push up. So after it hit this high a day, it just continued to grind and sell off, and it pushed below VWAP. Now I wasn't here for this, but it's fine. When I came back around. I came back at this candle here, and I saw this upside down hammer candle on actually some relatively high volume. It doesn't look like it here, but and I felt that if it pushed, you can see how all the moving averages converged here, and I saw a large number of bids here at 211. There was a small number of asks here at 212.05. So what happened was, and let's take a look at the 1 minute chart. So again, this is around the close. Okay, so this is the area here. Let me just move this over. Okay, so this is that area where off of pre-market, I believe this is pre-market high. You can see it when it did this green candle attempting to push above pre-market high. It did so on low volume, and when it rejected, it put this. It wasn't fully. I guess with these two candles, it's an engulfing candle, and it did so on high volume. So I felt that it was still pretty weak. So I was watching. I didn't know if I was going to take a trade here at all, but it you know, consolidated in this area, pushed below this 200 SMA, and I still wasn't in this yet, but you can see the 50 SMA here. At this point, I saw those asks here at 212.05, and but I saw the large number of bids here at 211, and I still felt that this was weak. The SPY was selling off, and I just, you know, again, I just felt, okay, you know what? If it pushes below all these moving averages, this might be worth, you know, this might be worth an entry. And I got to be honest with you, one of the ways I justified this was because that last trade on Baba was like a 3.4R win. I felt that, you know what, I'll, you know, I can risk 1R here. And if I'm right, this could be a decent win. So when it pushed below, I went short with a stop loss. I actually gave myself a little bit more room. I put a stop loss at 212.10 above those asks at 212.05, and you can see it continued to push down. It never came up and tested that. Once it really broke this level, it just never looked back. It had a little bit, you know, consolidated a little bit here at VWAP, and then just waterfall down and easily hit my 2R profit target. And that put me at over 1R for the day. So, again, that one, I'll be honest, you know, I don't know that I should have taken that trade. That one was maybe pushing it as far as the trading rules go. But when it's all said and done, I can't say that I'm too disappointed in that, because, you know, unlike the issues I'm trying to address here, which is uncontrolled over trading, these were very thought out, and you know, I'm not going to be, my bottom line is I'm not condoning necessarily breaking rules, but and I'm going to continue to work on sticking to those 6 trades, but I'm not going to beat myself up over these extra trades here. So you tell me what you think. You know, am I okay with my explanations? And I'm not even going to say they're excuses. They're you know, they're, in my opinion, they're true explanations as to why I felt that they were educated probabilities, and, you know, that they were well thought of additional trades. Or are you in the camp where it's like, hey, you know, it's just like being an alcoholic, you know, you can't even take a sip, and since you've given yourself extra trade, you're opening the door to just opening the floodgates to over trading. You tell me. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the day. You can see here 1R green for the day. I'll take that, and tomorrow's the last day of the trading week. Hopefully we can finish strong. Thanks so much for tuning in. I know that was a bit of a longer video, but I really wanted to kind of give my thoughts, and I guess in a sense plead my case a little bit. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and you know, appreciate you tuning in. And until the next recap tomorrow, this is AJ on Day Trader Boom or Bust signing out. Cheers.